Hello everyone, welcome to Kriti Tutorials, and today we are back with a very good important topic, that is perpetuity. It's a very simple topic. We'll be taking it in a very easy way, but that's important for the applied math students, for the business math students for 11th and 12th. So what is perpetuity? From the scratch we are going to start, and we will be taking along with it the questions from the R.D Sharma as well, the entire exercises, right? So the concept of perpetuity is very important for financial maths. Now let's understand it from the scratch, as I said. So first let's go with the definition of perpetuity. So what is the definition of perpetuity? If we go in a simple way, it is a special form of an ordinary annuity in which periodic payments continue forever. This word continue forever is very very important. Now, first of all, those who don't know what is annuity, or you, as you have done in last year also in financial maths, or might be doing this year as well, will be coming up with that annuity term. So now, annuity, if I explain in a very simple way, suppose you are depositing 10,000 rupees every year, or semi-annually, or monthly, anyways. So suppose I am taking 10,000 rupees every year as a deposit amount, and I am going to submit it for 10 years. Then it comes under annuity. So in simple words, what is annuity? Annuity is finite series. जैसे आप series पढ़ते हैं, series of finite terms, series of infinite terms. Same way, annuity continues for finite time, right? And perpetuity, as it is written here, it continues forever. Forever means you are now going to deposit 10,000 forever. Every year you are going to deposit 10,000, but here in annuity we fix the time. That is, I am going to deposit it for 10 years. But perpetuity, that it's continue forever. That is, it is for infinite number of years. So being a for infinite number of years, you will say, ma'am, then why we will submit if we are not going to get the reward? It's basically, perpetuity is for future generation. Or suppose I give you an example, that suppose you own a house, right? And you have put it on rent, right? But after you, the rent will be going to whom? The future generation. So that is also a kind of perpetuity only. Suppose you have some shares and the dividend is coming. So now again, after you, who is going to take that dividend? Your future generations. That's also a case of perpetuity. So perpetuity is something where the periodic payments continue forever. Either you deposit it or you are receiving it. So that will be perpetuity only. So your rent will come, it will get deposited every month in the bank. So you have made that procedure, right? And you are earning some interest. Then who is going to receive that amount, right? But years fixed nahi hai, then how do you calculate it? So it's like that, basically, to future and future generations it will continue. You don't know for how many years it will continue. You have not fixed the time. So here the time is not there. So it continues forever. Now, as we have in annuity different kinds of annuity, same we have perpetuities of different types. And nominally, annuity and perpetuity, they go parallel, right? So here we are going to go discuss two types of perpetuity. That is perpetuity payable at the end of each payment period. What does it mean at the end? Suppose I say that I am going to pay 1,000 rupees every year. Okay, so at the end of the year, suppose I have to pay for this year's installment, then I will pay at the end of 2023, not in the beginning. So that is what we mean by payable at the end, right? So the formula for this comes out to be a very very simple formula. And if you see, there are only two terms here, no powers, nothing. So that is R upon I. Now what is R and what is I? So if I go with this, R is the periodic payment that you are making. What is R? R is the periodic payment. Correct? And I is the interest. That is R upon 100. Correct? So I is nothing but, suppose you have 5% interest, right? So 5 upon 100 will be your I, and R is the periodic payment. So this formula is for what? This formula is for present value is equal to R upon I. So present value, what do you mean by present value? Already you would have seen my video that about present value I have explained, right? But here also we will have a small recap, but those who want to understand in a better way, go through the video. Okay, so now present value means what is the amount for today, whatever you are going to receive in future, we will just make, though it is infinite, still we can find, because we know how to sum up the infinite series. I will take a small example. All of you know what is GP? What is the sum of infinite GP? Just try to remember it. So sum of infinite GP से we can easily derive this formula. Okay, present value का अपना formula क्या होता है? जिन लोगों ने वीडियो देखा है उनको अच्छे से याद होगा. So if I have a small thing to you, suppose you make the payment first year, right? So present value for the first year will be आपने 1,000 rupees दिए, and for the first year, how will you calculate the present value? R upon 1 plus I. Present value for the second year, if I have to calculate, how will I calculate? R upon 1 plus I raised to 2. In this way, it will continue for n years, right? And if I have to sum up everything, PV1, PV2 and everything till PVN. But यहाँ पे तो n है ही नहीं finite, it goes infinite. So it becomes a infinite series. So if I sum up all of them, to get the total present value, what will it be? PV1, PV2, and it will go till infinite, right? So if I sum up everything, I can write it as R upon 1 plus I, R upon 1 plus I raised to 2, R upon 1 plus I raised to 3, and so on. Now, if you just see this, this is a simple GP which is going to infinite. Now, for the infinite GP, just remember the formula. What is the sum of infinite? That is a upon 1 minus r. अरे वाह, ये तो बहुत सिंपल सा फॉर्मूला था, याद आया सबको? सो सम ऑफ इनफाइनाइट जीपी का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? a upon 1 minus r. Now this formula if we use here, what is the a? A is the first term of the series. So what is our a? Our a is the first term of the series, that is r upon 1 plus I. What is your r? R is the ratio here, no rate of interest, okay? Ratio, right? That is the ratio between A2 upon A1. Remember GP, where we have common ratio. So here R is 1 upon 1 plus I. If you see the terms, हर एक में एक एक पावर इंक्रीज हो रहा है, किसका? 1 upon 1 plus I का. So if I use this formula to sum up the given series, ये पूरा series अगर हम sum up करें with the help of this formula, then what will be my present value? Let's write it here. So present value will come out R upon 1 plus I upon 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus I. And if I solve this formula, what will I get? I will get the formula which I have already written, right? So if I take the LCM, this 1 plus I will go up, and therefore this will cancel out, this will cancel out, which is R upon I. So that is what I have written here. R upon I is a very simple formula. I have told you the derivation to understand it in a very simple way. So present value was very important topic which I have already posted the video. You all can go through it, right? So present value of perpetuity we are finding here. So present value means today what's the value of it if you are going to deposit some amount for infinite years. तो आज की डेट में उसका क्या वैल्यू है? So now if you are paying the installment at the beginning, then what's the formula? And if you are paying the installment at the end, then what is the formula? So two formula are given to you. First formula is payable at the end. So उसके लिए हमने क्या formula निकाला? Present value is R upon I. Now if you are paying at the beginning, as I told you an example, if I have to pay the installment for 2023, then if I am paying in the beginning, that is if I am paying on 1st Jan in the beginning of the year, then second formula use होगा. If I am paying at the end of the year, तो फर्स्ट फॉर्मूला यूज होगा. तो सेकेंड फॉर्मूला इज फॉर एट द बिगनिंग मतलब स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द पेमेंट पीरियड. सो व्हेन यू आर पेइंग द परपेचुटी अमाउंट at the starting of the payment period, then formula is r plus r upon I. So here the derivation is same. सिर्फ आपका जो फर्स्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट आप स्टार्टिंग में पे कर रहे हो that will be added up. So derivation is also same. r plus r upon 1 plus I plus r upon 1 plus I raised to 2. So we just put R separate and then infinite GP. So that is what it is. So this is the formula for beginning and the above formula is for end. बस हमें ये दो छोटे छोटे फॉर्मूले याद रखने होते हैं परपेचुटी के लिए, बाकी सब हमारा सेम होता है, राइट? सो परपेचुटी को सॉल्व करना बहुत इजी है और परपेचुटी के क्वेश्चंस इसलिए एमसीक्यूज के लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और हमारे 2 मार्कर्स तक में भी आते हैं, right? Depending on what the language of the question is and what they want you to find. So 1 or 2 मार्कर्स के लिए perpetuity is very important. And अभी तक बोर्ड्स में 3 years हो गए हैं, अप्लाइड मैथ्स को ये थर्ड पेपर आएगा. एवरी ईयर वी आर गेटिंग द क्वेश्चन ऑफ परपेचुटी फ्रॉम द लास्ट 2 years. सो इसको अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करिए और आप लोगों को पूरे मार्क्स मिलेंगे. करेक्ट. नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू अ वेरी स्मॉल टॉपिक विच इज रिगार्डिंग द perpetuity. Suppose your perpetuity is growing at some rate, right? So perpetuity in which periodic payments keep growing on the same constant rate. कुछ growth rate आपका आ रहा है. So then the formula is for the present value. This is also for the present value. That is R upon I minus G. So, right? So R is again the amount that you are depositing every year or every month or semi-annually, depends, right? So R upon I minus G. I क्या है आपका interest rate और G क्या है यहाँ पे? G is your growth rate. करेक्ट. सपोज आपको 20% इंटरेस्ट मिल रहा है एंड ग्रोथ रेट इज व्हाट 3%. सो आप 20 - 3 करके कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. सो दैट इज R अपॉन I माइनस G. दैट इज अगेन द फॉर्मूला फॉर प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. करेक्ट. सो ये सारे फॉर्मूले हमारे प्रेजेंट वैल्यू के हैं. इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द लैंग्वेज ऑफ द क्वेश्चन एंड डू इट बाय substitution, right? So present value is R upon I minus G. Suppose I take a very simple example. अभी ये कैसे निकालते हैं? ये भी सेम डेरिवेशन है, इनफाइनाइट सीरीज है, बिकॉज परपेचुटी ऑलवेज गोज फॉर इनफाइनाइट पेमेंट्स, राइट? सो I minus G. Suppose your R is growing at some rate, so that is G, and then you are going to calculate it with R upon I minus G. Now let's take the question. This is the question, as I said, from the R.D Sharma. So we are going to solve the entire exercise. Now question 1. Using an interest rate of 6% per annum, right? Using an interest rate of 6% per annum, compute the present value of the receipt of rupees 27,000 at the end of each year in perpetuity. Now, what is given to you and what is to be calculated? Now, using an interest rate of 6%. Now, interest rate is 6%. So, what is your I? I will be R upon 100. And here per annum is there. So, we are going to take R upon 100. Per annum means annually. So, now compute the present value of the receipt of rupees 27,000. So, now R is going to be what? Rupees 27,000. Correct. And what we have to find? We have to find the present value. Now let's calculate the value of I first. 6 upon 100, that will give you 0.06. Right? You can use 6 upon 100. I always prefer fractions, students. That makes you least confusing calculations and easily you can do. Right? So 27,000 is your R and I is 6 upon 100. Now here important thing to notice is at the end of each year. At the end of each year means which formula you are going to use? Present value is R upon I. Correct? Because it is at the end. Beginning nahi hai. Okay, so we will use the first formula. So what is your R? 27,000. So you are depositing 27,000 at the end of each year. So they are asking you the present value. So 6 upon 100. Correct? So this 100 will go up. That is in the numerator. So 27,000 into 100 upon 6. ये simple calculation आपका करना है. So 27,000 into 100 upon 6. If we calculate, let's do it very nicely and very slowly. That will not take much time. Okay, no need to do unnecessary multiplication. So if I divide it by 3 first, I get 9,000. Now if I divide it by 2, so I get 4,500. So 4,500 into 100, what will you get? You will get simply 450,000. That comes out to be 4,50,000 rupees. So present value of this amount will be of the, if you are depositing 27,000 till infinite number of years and at 6% rate of interest, so present value is 4,50,000, right? So that will be your correct answer. So perpetuity, present value of perpetuity can be easily calculated. Right, now let's move on to the next. Now what sum of money invested now should establish a scholarship of rupees 6,000 to be awarded at the end of each year to a deserving candidate if money is worth 4,000 compounded annually. So आपका money किस रेट पे ग्रो कर रहा है, 4,000 कंपाउंडेड एनुअली। और कितने की स्कॉलरशिप हम बोल रहे हैं, 6,000 रुपीज का स्कॉलरशिप एवरी year, right? To be awarded at the end. Again, it's end of the year. Just see this, at the end of each year. So it is going to be yearly. So now yearly है तो वो पूछ रहा है what sum of money should be invested now. That is what we are going to find. Present value का मतलब क्या होता है? Present value का मतलब होता है now, today's value. So what we have to find? We have to find PV, that is present value. So present value का formula R upon I. करेक्ट, आर अपॉन आई। कितना हमें एस्टेब्लिश करना है, स्कॉलरशिप ऑफ ₹6,000। और हमारे पास आई कितना है, 4%, दैट इज 4/100। सो आई इज 4/100, दैट इज आर बाई 100। 100 क्यों ले रहे हैं, बिकॉज इट इज ईयरली। सो नाउ आर, कैपिटल आर, दैट इज द अमाउंट दैट वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर, 6,000 rupees every year. So now if we calculate, we get 6,000 upon 4, then again 100 will go up. Right, now let's do the calculations. So 3,000 upon 2, so we get 1500, so we get 150000. So if we calculate, we get 1,50,000 रुपीज। सो आज अगर हम 1,50,000 रुपीज डिपॉजिट करते हैं, इट विल बी इक्वल टू गेटिंग अन स्कॉलरशिप ऑफ ₹6,000 टू बी अवॉर्डेड ईच ईयर टू द डिजर्विंग कैंडिडेट, जब तक वो रहेगा कैंडिडेट, ओके, इट्स इनफाइनाइट ईयर्स, जब तक ही इज देयर, ही इज अलाइव। So if money is worth ₹4 per person compounded annually. So this is how do we calculate the present value. So present value का concept आपको समझ में आना चाहिए। Present value means today's value क्या है, correct? So that is what it is. Now let's move on to the next. Find the present value of the perpetuity of ₹7,800, that is 7,800, payable at the end of each year if money is worth at 6% effective. That's also the same. So present value of perpetuity, payable at the end. जब हमारा at the end होता है तो हमें कौन सा फॉर्मूला यूज करना है, अब तो सबको याद हो गया होगा, PV is R upon I. So what is your R here? R is 7,800. What is your I here? 6%, that is 6/100। ये सारे इनिशियल्स लिखने के भी स्टूडेंट्स मार्क्स होते हैं, तो कभी भी फॉर्मूला आप मिस नहीं करेंगे बोर्ड एग्जाम में, क्योंकि बोर्ड एग्जाम में फॉर्मूले के मार्क्स हमेशा होते हैं, रिमेंबर इट, राइट? सो फॉर्मूला इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी रिटन। सो PV is R upon I. Do not forget to write the formula. Okay, so now 7,800 you are depositing at 6%. So what will you get? 6 से we can divide it. So we get 1,30,000 rupees. So this will be the present value of the perpetuity. That is, you are depositing 7,800 at 6% effective rate of interest, and the present value of perpetuity comes out to be 1,30,000. That is today's state value, right? आपको इतना deposit करना है. Now here, that's again an important question, और इसको जरा ध्यान से पढ़िएगा, ठीक है? At 6% converted quarterly. This is not annually, this is quarterly. So quarterly, it means that you are going to do it in a quarter. Quarter में आपको interest मिल रहा है, right? So find the present value of perpetuity of ₹45,000 payable at the end of each quarter. आपको जो amount मिलेगा वो भी कब कब मिलेगा? At the end of each quarter. Correct? आप कितना पे कर रहे हो? 45,000 at the end of each quarter. और आपका इंटरेस्ट भी क्वार्टरली लगेगा, ठीक है? सो नाउ यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ द परपेचुइटी। है तो एंड में ही, जब एंड में है तो हमें सेम फॉर्मूला यूज करना है। बट फाइनेंशियल मैथ्स में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट होता है जो आप लोगों ने 11th में भी पढ़ा होगा। जो अभी 11th के बच्चे हैं वो अभी पढ़ रहे होंगे इस चीज़ को, और 12th वाले बच्चों ने ऑलरेडी 11th में पढ़ा होगा। पूरा फाइनेंशियल मैथ्स क्वार्टरली, सेमी एनुअली और एनुअली पे बेस्ड होता है, बिकॉज उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम आई कैलकुलेट करते हैं। So here I will be taken as R upon 400, not R upon 100. That's very important, और यही कॉमन मिस्टेक होती है। यहाँ पे जब क्वार्टरली कैलकुलेट हो रहा है, सो रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट विल बी 1/4, राइट? सो R upon 400 होगा हमारा, करेक्ट? सो R is 6. So 6 upon 400 will be the value of I. Remember it. That's important. That is why these questions are very, very important. So now R is simply 45,000 rupees. Now let's calculate this value. So 45,000 upon 6, and then 400 will go in numerator, right? So we have to simply calculate this value. No need of unnecessary multiplication, students. That's very important thing. So if I just divide it, I get this. So what will be my final amount? So 15 twos are 30, and then I get 50. So it's equivalent to what? 30 lakh. जस्ट चेक एवरीवन. सो क्वार्टरली के लिए क्या ध्यान में रखना है कि आई विल ऑलवेज बी टेकन एज आर बाई 400. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. करेक्ट. ईयरली होता है तो आर बाई 100 लेते हैं, और अगर सेमी एनुअली होता है तो आर बाई 200. ठीक है. चलिए अभी हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन करते हैं. नाउ अब ये देखिए, ये आ गया सेमी एनुअली का क्वेश्चन, जो मैंने आपको अभी बोला कि अभी सेमी एनुअली है तो आई को हमें कैसे लेना है. नाउ फाइंड द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ अ सीक्वेंस ऑफ पेमेंट्स ऑफ रुपीज 14,000 made at the end of each 6 months, and it is continuing forever. If money is worth a 7% converted semi annually. अब ये केस आ गया सेमी एनुअली का. देखिए सारे क्वेश्चन वैसे सिमिलर लगते हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा थोड़ा कुछ कुछ डिफरेंस होता है. इसीलिए बोला जाता है मैथ्स में आप जितना प्रैक्टिस करेंगे उतना अच्छा है, और एग्जाम में आपकी स्पीड भी बढ़ती है उससे. सो नाउ वी हैव टू फाइंड द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू of sequence of payments of rupees 14,000. 14,000 is what? 14,000 is your R. Correct. Again it is made at the end. Correct. Again it is made at the end. Correct. So आपको end में calculation है, तो आपका फॉर्मूला क्या आएगा? PV is equal to R upon I. Now R तो हमने मार्क कर लिया 14,000. Now what is our I? Our I will be R upon 200. अब यहाँ पे 200 क्यों हुआ? अभी क्या बताया हमने? You are making the payments in every 6 months. Okay, it is semi annually written here. So now semi annually है तो क्या आएगा? R upon 200. So what is your R? Your R is 7%. So 7 upon 200 will be the value of I. ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होता है फाइनेंशियल मैथ्स. मैंने अप्लाइज एवरीवेयर इन फाइनेंशियल मैथ्स. कहीं पे भी कोई भी आप इंटरेस्ट कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट में, सेमी एनुअली, एनुअली एंड क्वार्टरली, दीज थ्री वर्ड्स, मंथली आल्सो ऑफ कोर्स. सो ये 4 मंथ्स, 4 टाइप्स रहते हैं, एंड वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल फॉर दैट. सो नाउ वी गेट 14,000 upon 7, and this 200 will go up. प्लीज अवॉइड अननेसेसरी मल्टीप्लीकेशंस. जितना आप कम करेंगे मल्टीप्लीकेशंस को, आपकी कैलकुलेशंस उतनी ही ईजी हो जाएंगी. देखिए हम कोई रफ वर्क नहीं किया अभी तक, हमने सिंपल सिंपल क्वेश्चंस हमने कैलकुलेट किए, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट डूइंग अननेसेसरी मल्टीप्लिकेशन, वी आर डिवाइडिंग. सो वी गेट 4 lakh rupees as the present value. So present value of the perpetuity is 4 lakh rupees. Correct. So this is how do we calculate. So we have taken different types of questions. अभी हमने मंथली भी कर लिया, सेमी एनुअली भी कर लिया, ने क्वार्टरली भी कर लिया, राइट. एंड एवरीवेयर वी वर गिवन आर, and we were finding the present value. Correct. And all these questions were on end of the year or end of the tenure. Now let's take next. Now this is a question which compares perpetuity with annuity. थोड़ा ध्यान से देखिए. So if money is worth 5%, compare the present value of perpetuity of rupees 2,500 payable at the end of each year with that of an ordinary annuity of rupees 2,500 per year for 200 years. So annuity और परपेचुटी को हमें कंपेयर करना है कि अगर मैं एन्यूटी एक लेता हूं, विच इज आई एम डिपॉजिटिंग 2,500 फॉर 200 years. Okay, rate of interest is same 5%. Correct. So if I compare both the values, तो किसका प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ज्यादा आएगा, परपेचुटी का या एन्यूटी का? So that is what I have to compare. So let's make two sides. Okay, one for perpetuity and one for annuity. Correct. Now formula for perpetuity when it is at the end. Okay, so P is equal to R upon I. Now what is the formula for annuity? For the annuity, the present value formula is P upon I into 1 minus 1 plus I raised to minus n. याद आया आप सबको ये फॉर्मूला? ये सब आप सबने एन्यूटी में पढ़ा होगा. करेक्ट. Now we have to calculate both the values and then we have to compare whose present value is more or less. Okay. Now let's calculate for perpetuity first. So what is your R? Your R is 2500, and again it's at the end of each year. So I will be taken as 5 by 100. So let's calculate it. 2500, 5 by 100. So if you divide it, you get this and then you get 50,000. Okay. Now, rupees. That's your present value if you are depositing 2,500 at the end of each year for infinite years at 5% interest. So it's all compound interest, right? Now let's calculate the same value for annuity. उसके लिए present value क्या आता है? So again 2,500 into. Now if you check here, we get 1 plus I. I is what? Same. So I will be 5 by 100 here again. So 1 plus 0.05 raised to minus 200, because we are taking n as 200 years, right? So you are making it for 200 years. Okay, so now I will be again what? 5 upon 100. So this 100 will go up. Okay, let's write it. Now let's calculate the value. So what we will get? Again, if I divide by 500, so what will I get? 50,000. Now, 1 minus. So, what this value is already given to you in the question, no need of any table. So, 0.0000, and here you get 5782. Okay, it's given in the question. Now, let's do the subtraction and then multiplication. I will have to do it very nicely in the calculator. Might be using it. So, 8 to do it a bit faster. 1, 2, 4, 9. Oh, it's too lengthy. 999941218. Okay, now I will have to multiply this number. Okay, इसके लिए तो मुझे calculator लगेगा थोड़ा जल्दी करने के लिए. Otherwise you can simply multiply 5 with 8. 1 2 4 9 9 9 9. Right, so what will I get? Let me check. 50,000. I'll have to shift the decimal for the 4 places and all. So what will I get? Rupees 49,000 997 rupees. Okay, so you all can do it manually also. Right now I have done on the calculator to give you fast results. So 4997, right? So this is what you are getting. Now if you compare the present value, see annuity के according हमारा present value आ रहा है 50,000, sorry perpetuity के according, and for annuity we are getting 49,997. So it's almost equal, right? सो परपेचुटी एज आई सेड फ्यूचर जनरेशन में जाता रहता है और आपने अगर एन्यूटी भी बना दिया 200 years का, देन ऑल्सो इट्स कमिंग आउट ऑलमोस्ट सेम. सो इट्स लाइक दैट. सो दिस इज हाउ डू वी कंपेयर परपेचुटी एंड annuity. Correct. So this was the question which was based on. So now you can understand very well what's the difference between annuity and perpetuity. चलिए एक और क्वेश्चन लेते हैं फटाफट हम. Now what sum invested at 8% compounded annually will provide payments of rupees 1000 each at the end of 6 months forever. हम कितना मनी इन्वेस्ट करें कि हमें 1000 rupees मिलते रहें. Will provide payments of rupees 1000 each at the end of 6 months forever. So again the point is 6 months forever and at the end सब कुछ इसी में है. एट द एंड है तो कौन सा फॉर्मूला यूज होगा? पी वी इज इक्वल टू आर अपॉन आई. और हमें निकालना क्या है? सम इन्वेस्टेड. हम कितना मनी आज इन्वेस्ट करें, मतलब हमें निकालना है प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. और कितने रुपए हमको चाहिए? 1000 rupees चाहिए हमको. सो आई विल बी वॉट? 8 अपॉन, नाउ इट इज 6 months. 6 month मीन्स सेमी एनुअली. ऊपर भी लिखा है देखिए सेमी एनुअली. और हम वैसे भी बोल सकते हैं एट द एंड ऑफ 6 months मतलब semi annually. So it will be 8 upon 200, not 8 upon 100. So we have to get R as 1000 rupees and I as 8 upon 200. So present value is 1000 rupees, 8 upon 200. Now if we divide it, so what we get? 25,000. तो आज अगर हम 25,000 rupees डिपॉजिट कर देते हैं एट 8% सेमी एनुअली, तो हमें 6 months के बाद 1000 मिलते रहेंगे, राइट? सो नाउ दिस इज व्हाट 25,000 रिजल्ट्स टू. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव फॉर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सो 25,000 rupees you will get. Sorry, you have to invest, right? So that is 25,000. So thank you everyone. We will take the other questions in the next part. Okay, hope you have understood it. So please like, share, and comment. Okay, thank you.